I am Slick Nick, the living legend. This is my new vehicle, and of course, this is my dad. So, I finally drove my own Jeep. Took it on a test drive. I was just wanted to give myself a refresher on driving the manual because I have never owned a manual transmission until now. And so, as we were on the Parkway, was at Highway 35, kind of going across the mountain where I grew up here in Alabama. We drove, how far is it from here from Little River Canyon? Like 5 miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 5 miles.
So in that 5 miles, immediately when I got on the Parkway, there was 3 Jeep Wranglers, almost nearly in a row. Like, here's a white one, here's a black one, here's a blue one. Like, and so as I'm driving this, focusing on shifting gears, I was like, the Jeep Wave. I got to be ready for the Jeep Wave. And you were just asking me, you're like, isn't there a Jeep Wave? And that big around that time, a Jeep was coming by, and I forgot to be ready to wave. So okay, that one's on me. I forgot to do the wave. But if surely I get a pass because here I am driving a Jeep Wrangler for the first time that I've already bought, and it's a manual. Okay, so I get a pass. 30 seconds later, here comes another Jeep Wrangler. And so I'm ready. And my understanding is the Jeep Wave is like, it's like that. You just lift your hand off the steering wheel, kind of 5-finger thing, maybe even like this. So you're lifting your hands off the steering wheel. That's what it's a matter of respect. You're acknowledging that this person is in some ways as impractical as you to want this to be driving this, especially if it's a daily vehicle like it will be for me. You're part of that culture. You're part of that club that not everybody gets. It's a worldwide movement. If it's in your blood, it's in your blood, and if not, other even people outside of Jeep culture understand that. But sure enough, I did the wave, nothing. They weren't looking at me, nothing. A couple minutes later, here's the third Jeep. I'm ready, wave, nothing. So just in my mind, it's your responsibility if you drive a Jeep. And again, this is like me, like day one of driving a Jeep, but it's been ingrained in me as an outsider up to this point that that's what you do. But those people didn't wave back. Mm. And what does that say about Jeep culture? Is it that they've become so popular that the wave is going away? This is a car that has a secret handshake. But in my mind, you're a loser, you're a poser if you don't do the Jeep Wave. You don't have to be the one to initiate it, but you got to do it back. And they didn't do it back. So it's going to be interesting to me to see, at least in Nashville, maybe back in Nashville, because like 1 in 4 or 5 cars is a Jeep Wrangler. Maybe there it'll be normal. But you knew about the Jeep Wave, right?
I assume there was a Jeep Wave. I know, there's the motorcycle wave where one finger points down towards the ground. But I figure there's a Jeep Wave. But maybe you didn't do it right. Maybe.
But they weren't even looking at me.
Maybe.
That's the thing. Like, it's your obligation if you're driving. You're always looking for other Jeeps so you can be ready to do the wave. Yeah. And they weren't ready. They weren't even looking at me.
I can explain that.
So I think this is going to be, the more I drive the Jeep, and especially once I get back to Nashville with it, we'll have a better understanding of how normal it is. Surely the Jeep Wave is not done. Surely people still do this.
Well, Google the wave, make sure it's a hand completely off the steering wheel. Maybe just 4 fingers up, maybe, I don't know. I assume there's a wave, but I've really actually never experienced it. So maybe you need to Google it.
But what I think though, still they weren't even looking at me. Because I did the wave in eye contact. I saw them coming. I thought, get ready for this. Eye contact, wave. And they never looked up at me. There was no eye contact.
Well, now, was it men or women driving the Jeeps?
I'm pretty sure they were all 3 men.
No excuse.
So, maybe what I'm trying to say is, more so than being ready to do the wave and to know the wave, it's your responsibility to be looking for other Jeeps to begin with to do the wave. Again, you don't have to initiate it, but you got to be ready. And those 3 people were not ready. So, and I would think that in Jeep culture there would be a high level of forgiveness if you don't do the wave right. It'd be one thing if they looked at me and they didn't wave back, but let's say that I did it wrong. They weren't ready. So I've got a lot to learn. I'm a new Jeep Wrangler owner. So hopefully people watching can let me know if I... Still though, even if I did something wrong, they weren't ready. And is Jeep culture changing? Are there too many posers out there? What's going on? I need answers. And I need answers right here in the comment section.